What's up, everyone? This is Trebus here, and you are my team. So together, we are Team Trebus. Alright, so we are in Bronze to Diamond Week today, and we're in the Platinum League. We're almost there, guys. We've almost made it to Diamond. Not quite there, but we are in Platinum League, so that's pretty darn good. I can say for certain in the Platinum League, the macro is pretty darn good. Obviously, everyone can improve their macro. I am MVP can improve his macro. Nesty can improve his macro. So everyone can. However, I would say right around Platinum to Diamond League, the macro gets pretty good to where the point where other strategic concepts start to become more and more important. So in this replay, I want to look at a couple different things. I want to look at scouting, and I want to look at reacting to your opponent's unit composition. And we're going to talk specifically about this game and kind of about TVP in general. So we're looking from the perspective of this fine gentleman, Nesty Cunt. That's right. That's what he chose to name himself. He had one shot to name his entire Battle.net account. Forever. Well, not quite forever, but they tell you it's going to be forever. And he chose to go with Nesty Cunt. Okay. Well, Nesty, which is what I'm going to call you. Yeah, let's start looking at this play. So, scouting, what did he see? First thing he saw was a whole lot of buildup of energy on the Nexus. Well, the thing that almost always points to is a 4-gate. However, he did see a second gas go down. So, if it was going to be a 4-gate, then it would be a 2-gas 4-gate. It would be kind of a delayed 4-gate. And there wouldn't be as much to worry, or the 4-gate would not come out as quickly. And we're going to see here, Nesty. It's almost like Nesty. Anyway, Nesty is going to go for a 3 barracks build, and there are some macro problems. Nothing coming out of the barracks for a while here. This supply depot is too early, and that is that. So, some issues to clean up there. Also, I would recommend for the very first upgrade that you're going to get out of this tech lab, I would recommend Concussive Shell, because Concussive Shell just makes Zealots irrelevant. Because Zealots go from, in TVP in the early game, they go from kind of scary to totally irrelevant once you have Marauders with Concussive out. And the only reason you need Stim is if you're going for like a push. So what we're going to see here is not a push, it's actually a defensive 3 barracks build, which I think is the #1 problem in this game. So we see Nesty throwing a bunker up. In my opinion, this bunker is irrelevant because he is going for a 3 barracks build. However, I don't know, it's really weird what's happening here, because he's going for a 3 barracks build, which should give you a lot of units in the early game. You shouldn't have to worry about any kind of super early aggression. However, he's also getting 2 gas, so he's trying to do tech. And then he's also getting an expansion up relatively early before any kind of push comes out. This was going up way before this push. So the macro is pretty good. The build, it kind of makes sense, but at the same time it's going in too many directions. And it's not gonna give him an advantage in any spot. He's not gonna have an army advantage at the start where he can just make a nice timing attack. He's not going to have an economic advantage by getting this command center very quickly. He's not going to have a tech advantage because you don't even see a barrack or a factory coming up yet. So it's going in a little too many directions, in my opinion. And something like this stem right here is not that important right now. I think could easily be delayed. So, talking about scouting once again, in early game and mid game TVP, the Terran player should have map control, because a Protoss, unless he's going for something really aggressive, he needs force fields to be able to hold any kind of attack. You can see he's at his ramp here. He's going to have to use those force fields, and so always push out on the map as a Terran player and take at least the watchtower and just establish a general presence on the map, because you can do that. And if you clear the watchtower, put a dude on the watchtower. Look, this guy. Hold on, this guy. That guy right there. 25 HP. He is the candidate. Send him to the watchtower. I'm sorry, sir, you've been reassigned to the watchtower. And that's where you'll stay for the rest of, well, your life, basically. So we see Nesty teching up, and here's the point where I think the scouting really just turns very lackluster. So what is Nesty going for? He's going for a lot of fast medevacs. That's good, that's nice. Fast medevacs are good. Along with these 3 barracks, that'll give him a nice little bio army. Adding on another barracks even, cool. Nice little bio army, and it'll stay alive. He can do drops if he wants. But really, he needs to know what the Protoss player is doing. Because depending on what the Protoss is doing, you'll have to adjust. And I'll just talk about a couple specific scenarios here very quickly. If the Protoss is going for a Zealot Archon, which you can tell by, first of all, being a lot of Zealots, like once you, here's the scan, there we go. If you're seeing a ton of Zealots, then, and you see a Twilight Council, then probably going to be Zealot Archon. And if your opponent is going for Zealot Archon, that just means you need to add on Ghosts more quickly. I would say if you see Zealot Archon, add Ghosts more quickly and skew your unit mix towards Marines. That can be kind of dangerous because if he's not going for Zealot Archon, if he's going for Storm, then the Storm is going to utterly destroy your Marines, but hopefully your Ghost control can be good enough that you don't have to worry too much about that. If he's going for Colossus, which you'll see by Robotics Facility, Robotics Bay, and you know, similar number of Zealots and Stalkers and Sentries, then you'll just skew towards Vikings. And I'd say, okay, so Zealot Archon skew towards Marines and Ghosts, Colossus skew towards Marauders and Vikings. It's that simple. So in this game, we see Nesty skewing definitely more towards Marines. He's getting 2 reactors up compared to his 2 tech labs, so he'll have at least twice as many Marines as Marauders, and getting quite a few medevacs up. This I have a problem with. I really don't like this drop. This is called a drop out of nowhere. You know, Nesty he loads up a medevac, he sends it in, and he's gonna drop, and if his opponent has half a brain, then he's just gonna pull his probes, pull his units back, and then defend this drop. Rather than just do this, push out on the map, which he has full map control already. He should have at least 1 guy there. Push out on the map, poke up at the front, get him a little bit scared, get in his brain, and then do the drop in the back. Probably won't react pulling his probes as quickly. He'll be forced to make decisions about splitting his army, and if he splits drastically wrong in one way or the other, then you can either do a lot of damage with the drop, or you can do a lot of damage with your poke at the front. But a drop like this, it's almost never going to do anything. Maybe in much lower leagues it will do something, but look what's going to happen. What was that? 2 workers killed. No, 1 worker killed. Yeah, not good. Pretty much worthless. So I don't like those drops out of nowhere. Gonna be speeding up here. Nesty does a nice job of expanding on time. That drop was kind of lined up with an expansion. I don't know if that was on purpose or not. But we're gonna get to watch a battle here. And in this battle, we're gonna see that the Protoss opponent does have Storm. So that's a big thing to think about. If you see Storm, spread out your units. You can see they're all in one chunk right here. And I'm going to talk about a couple different things. First of all, spread out your units. Units should be all around here. And wherever you see the Zealots going, just box that chunk and start moving it back. Box the chunk and move it back. And it makes the Protoss player make a lot more decisions with their Storms to figure out exactly where they're going to go. Other thing is, don't control your medevacs, or don't put everything in the same control group, because you can see here everything's in the same control group. So when you're doing this scoot and shoot micro with the Marines and Marauders, the medevacs are doing that scoot and shoot as well, and they're not getting to heal. So yeah, and definitely #1 thing, as soon as you see those Storms going down right there, you gotta dodge. So now we're seeing a better job with the medevacs are able to heal, although they are getting kind of picked off a little bit right now as well. So he decides to just pull back and heal up. And at this point that battle didn't go too horribly. It really didn't go good, but it wasn't like a game-ending battle quite yet. Seeing some weird things happen with accidentally loading into medevacs. Not sure how that can be remedied. And yeah, at this point I would be concerned with my ghosts. Getting cloak with ghosts is actually really nice, because if you scan the Protoss' army and you see a observer right above it, you can just snipe it. Or you can even EMP where the observer is going to be and then snipe it. And then you've got nice cloak ghosts that can go in and get those money EMPs. So pushing out once again onto the map. Some weird loading and unloading action happening. And this is a point where I think a little more scouting would have been nice, because we would see the Colossus on the field and know that, uh-oh, this army is going to get melted by Colossus because of the high skew towards Marines. So at this point, I would be definitely trying to get more Marauders up in the mix. Over stimming right there, that was 2 stims. More stims than needed to be. And not enough EMPs. Go ahead and use these EMPs. Where are the ghosts? A lot of these ghosts have energy. 78, 160, 160, 110. So there were a lot more EMPs that could have been done there, but just weren't. Okay, the ghosts are in a separate control group. Try to keep your ghosts like off to the side of your army and ready to do an EMP. This is a big mistake right here. He's going to go for a big Doom drop, which isn't going to work for 2 reasons. First of all, he doesn't have enough medevacs to pick everything up. Second of all, there's an army coming right now, right here. So I would be dropping these units immediately. But instead, he's trying to go for something kind of fancy. He's trying to drop on the other side, and it results in 4 micro of these units just getting eaten alive by zealots. You can see they're all in the same control group. They're trying to run away. Target firing down something. I think it might have been a Colossus. I'm not sure. More ghosts not using EMP. There's not a lot of good EMP targets anyway. And you can see this fight goes very badly. Very badly indeed. Managing to save some of the medevacs, but that's about it. Also, at this point, if you recall one of my previous games, I talked about having about 3 structures per base. So let's count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 structures. So that's pretty close. That's around the ballpark. However, some macro mistakes could result in doing a lot more of those. So we see some barracks being created out here, out in the middle of nowhere. Why? Just don't do that. Build them here. There you go. Adding Vikings into the mix is a very smart move. However, the Protoss player really doesn't have that many Colossus yet, so it's not going to be incredibly effective. And the Vikings getting taken out by the Stalkers. All of this is just kind of spiraling out of control, and left with around 3,000 resources and no GG. So there you go. Finally, actually a game of someone losing. It's unbelievable. The percentage of games that are sent to me that are of someone winning. I would say, honestly, it's around 90%, 80 or 90% of people sending me games where they win. So thank you, Nesty, for sending me a game of a loss. So there you have it. That was Bronze to Diamond for Platinum. Keep sending me replays. I've got plenty of Terran replays right now. So Protoss and Zerg, particularly for the higher leagues, I can always use more of those. And let me know in the comments if you want me to do Protoss or Zerg next. Because I've done the full series. Well, after doing Diamond, I'll have done the full series. Zerg, Protoss, Terran. I've got another Terran set already recorded, just ready to be released, but I'll do Protoss Zerg before I do that. So thank you for watching. As always, please like and favorite, comment, subscribe, all those good things. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. GG!